Hey, have you wanted to stop the racing thoughts in your mind, but you just can't seem to? You want to get rid of it, you want to find a way to have a proper night's sleep or just unburden yourself with these? Well, look, you're not alone, and it's not easy. I get it, believe me. I've actually started like re-implementing something that's helped me a great deal. And if you listen, I'll share with the importance of that and how you can incorporate that and why it's important. So here's the thing. Recently, I've been pretty like overwhelmed with something at work, and it was really like frustrating and I was annoyed. Now, of course, this is important because you might be the type of person that wants to solve everything by yourself. You don't want to burden people as much, or you want to kind of figure out how to get better, stronger, smarter, build your emotional intelligence, not get so flustered by things. Great, this is for you. So, like I said, I was getting flustered and annoyed, and I was starting to feel like there were all these thoughts in my head. And if I kind of let them continue to pervade, it would have meant that my sleep was affected, meaning that the next day at work, I'd be less ready, less inclined to overcome what I was dealing with. And that's where I talk about, and I feel by reintroducing journaling, I was able to find solace and actually like reframe my mind and come back refreshed. Let me explain. So in that day, I had quite a lot of thoughts about work and how I'd messed up, and there was things I wasn't proud of in terms of I hadn't written my report a certain way, and I felt like I let down the team, I felt like I let down myself, I felt like I was longer from a promotion, all these things, right? And look, thoughts are important because they do remind you of things to do. Like, for example, it might be nighttime, and your mind will be like, oh, you should probably take that bin out because the bin's going to come tomorrow morning. Oh, perfect, thanks mind. I'll go take the bin out, set for tomorrow morning. Otherwise the bin's going to smell, won't get taken, have to wait a week. Cool, that's important. But where it's not great is when you start to get all these other things that come into your head during the day, and they just keep building and building and building. And it's almost like you've got so many tabs open in your mind, and you kind of just want a way to like reset it and close it all down. And that's the beauty of journaling. Let me explain. So for me, I had known before that journaling was really helpful. So that's why I opened it up, put a day, started like putting pen to paper. And so the beauty about journaling is you can actually start to list out what is actually bothering you. So you're effectively dumping it. You're taking it from here, putting it in here. You're like almost vomiting it out, but with your hand. So by doing so, you're able to do a couple of things. First, you're able to see the problem as what it is. You're actually tangibly able to see it. It goes from being in here and replaying in your mind, like almost like a film that like that just keeps repeating over and over again, or like like a GIF. How it goes like a little gag for 5 seconds and it repeats at the start. You put it here and you can see it. And that takes that out, right? And then you've got more stuff. You take that out, take that out, take that out. And the thing is, if you haven't done this for a while and you just start into journaling, it can be tough. So what I would recommend is, like I said, get a nice pen, get a nice like little notebook journal that you can actually, it's yours and it's fresh. Play some meditation or some relaxing music and just, start writing it out. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's no rules. Just start writing what's on your mind. And by doing so, you'll be able to relinquish what's like weighing on you. And by doing so, you're able to actually see the problem for what it is, in the sense that it's no longer in here. And by being in here, you can actually start to devise a strategy. In terms of, you can realize how important is this problem? Is this a daily, weekly, monthly thing? How can I overcome it? So you actually start to have that deeper level of reflection because you're actually able to see it for what it is and you've gotten it out. And of course, the more stuff that you get out, the more this will clear in your head. And you can do other things as well to put your life or day into perspective. For example, you can take those frustrations and sense that you're feeling not so great and think of one thing you're grateful for and focus on that. And of course, it might be hard to think of something you're grateful for, but perhaps you can start with something small. I'm grateful for this pen and this paper to unburden myself and write these thoughts. I'm grateful that I live in a safe place and I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I have clear drinking water. Like, that's really easy. I don't have to walk 10 kilometers to get. Like, simple things like that, right? So boom, instantly you're starting to unload what's in here to empty it, and you're reframing yourself to kind of say, actually, it's not that bad. In the grand scheme of things, I'm actually pretty grateful for what I've got. So you've unburdened yourself, you've started to become grateful for what you've got, and you can also reflect on the day in terms of take that next step in terms of how to improve for the next day. What I mean by that is, like I said, you can develop a plan, right? But you can also think of, okay, what's something I did today that I'm really proud of? I think, okay, I did that. And why did I do that? Oh, because I got to work early and it was quiet. Therefore, I could focus on this because people weren't there. Okay, cool. Getting to work early is important. It helps me plan my day or tackle my hardest thing first, right? So you can, okay, that's a good thing. I should keep doing that. Or like, oh, I ate junk food, therefore I felt lethargic. I didn't want to do anything. Okay, I should probably do less of that, cook properly for myself, and gain that confidence. So that's how you can kind of start to use this to refresh yourself in a way and have that strategy. Like, for example, Marcus Aurelius, who was a famous emperor of Rome back in the day, he would have long days of being the emperor, leading lots and lots of people and leading, the massive, behemoth that was the Roman Empire. But by the end of the day, he would still take time to be alone to reflect on what he had done well, what he didn't, how he could improve, and how he could kind of see his problems for what they were, opposed to burdening himself with them and keeping them wrapped up. And I kind of realized this is something that happened to me as a kid, that I never really actually had the awareness to think of and think beyond myself. It's only when I actually did this and journaled for that first day when I was feeling overwhelmed that, I kid you not, as soon as I'd finished getting it all out, mine felt empty and I could actually close my eyes and things weren't racing. It actually felt clear. Because I'd unburdened myself, so then I got a better sleep, and the next day I was set, ready to tackle, conquer mountains and conquer life, right? And then the next day, I had similar things I was not really happy with, but then I journaled again, cleared my head, perfect. And there's also another added benefit. By doing this, you become more reflective, in the sense that if something happens to you in the next day, but you've already internalized it, reflected on it, how to do better, you'll almost be able to see yourself in that moment, but you'll almost like a ghost be able to see yourself and think, oh, I'm not this situation, I'm not this feeling, I'm more than this. So I'm able to kind of implement that strategy and have kind of the right thing to know to do from your experience and your reflection. So in that moment, you've got this, you're in front of a mountain and you know exactly how to conquer it. And that's kind of the benefit of this journaling. You can also use journaling for so many more other things. For example, you want to, bonus tip, you want to plan long-term goals, for the week, what you want to do the next day, what meals you want to cook, what you're kind of wanting to do. You can effectively step that out, and it kind of helps you to reframe what are some things that are more important to you and where you want to get closer to or move the needle more towards. You want to focus more on fitness. You want to have a really good routine, so you have time to spend more with your family. You want to have more time to cook, so by cooking you save money. You're not stressed about money as much. All these things can kind of play into it through the process and power of journaling. And that's the beautiful thing. You don't have to do all these things at once in journaling. You can do it for what you need it for. If you're feeling particularly overwhelmed in the day, you can get this all out. And so you can have a proper night's sleep and feel refreshed for the next day, opposed to letting it just circle around in your mind. So by doing so, you've refreshed yourself to conquer mountains and conquer life. If you want more content like this, please subscribe. Please comment something that you found benefit from journaling, perhaps something I've missed or something you've learned recently from it, or you want to actually try it and you realize something. Comment that below, and it'd be great to see and share that within this community to see how you're taking benefit from this and you're conquering mountains and conquering your own life, right? Now, of course, if you'd like some extra help, I offer one-on-one coaching. You can send me some questions. I can answer them ahead of time. 60-minute consultation. I'll give you that value add, help you kind of figure out what's the best way to kind of step through and figure out what you want to conquer, the mountains you should conquer to conquer life. Like, you want to lose weight, you want to build fitness, you want to, do better at school, you want to figure out where you're heading in your profession. Like, I want to kind of like help you as like another person objectively look at how we can make your situation better, or what you can do to start conquering those mountains and conquer life. Also, literally, if you want to conquer mountains, conquer life, I've got an ebook called Life Cycles where I step you through in 4 phases how to conquer mountains literally on the bike, what bike to get, what equipment, helmet, clothing, what to eat on the bike to conquer those mountains, how to train to conquer the mountains, how to recover off the bike so you can get back and conquer more mountains sooner. And so many more insights. It's 160 pages. I basically step so many things out, step by step. The most beginner questions you can think of, like, when do I need cycling cleats? I answer. What type of lights do I need? I answer. Like, all these things, worries you'll have. I want to ride, but I don't have enough time. Okay, commuting is the most important thing for training. Like, things like this I've already thought of. I share my journey of 6+ years worth of cycling and how I have gained the fitness and levels that I'm really proud of, and share it with you in a way that if I was to talk about this, it would take hours and hours and hours. But by having it in a book, you can go to certain points when you are at them and kind of implement that into your life to conquer those specific mountains at that point in time, thus conquering life. Thank you. Conquer mountains, conquer life.